Okay, we're up to tab 10, which is the Tamamoura Community Board recommendation. Jo, are you doing that one for us?
I am indeed. Good morning, everyone. This report presents a notice of motion that was passed by the Tamamoura Community Board in relation to the car park that is associated with the Bunnings building. They felt that it was appropriate that we start referring to that car park as the Arawata Street car park. So they have put a recommendation through, which you can see in the report, that Council and Council staff formally named the car park that was for a short time associated with Bunnings, the Arawata Street car park. Since that report was presented to the Tamamoura Board, there was some information that was provided by staff in relation to leasing arrangements at that site, and that is there under section 4 in your report. So the staff recommendation that is actually in the report that you've got in front of you doesn't support the Tamamoura Community Board notice of motion because of those leasing arrangements that are in place and proposed, but does suggest two options in terms of making a more informal change to rename that car park to either the Arawata Street car park or the Te Arawai site. Does anyone have any questions?
Any comments there? The local councillors will know the feelings of the community. Bruce, did you want to say something?
Oh yeah, Joe, I'd rather go for C number, the bottom one, because you've got those two options. Yes, Arawata, everyone's familiar with that, but when Te Arawai gets there, whenever that is, that could go ahead and change.
Sure, there's more comments than that. Go, Lou. Thank you.
Having sat on the that particular discussion at the community board, I'm actually quite keen on the option that we just adopt the idea of Te Arawai, because it's going to ultimately be there, and use it informally until such time as it does become used. Because I think people will get quite confused if we name it something else and then we have Te Arawai coming in later. So I honestly feel that Te Arawai is quite a suitable name for it in the immediate short term, perhaps informally, and then later on it can be adopted formally.
Thank you. Marcus, comments?
Yeah, I agree with that as well. Should be Te Arawai car park or something. Or is there somewhere that we can do some easy branding on the side of the building that says future home of Te Arawai, or put some signs up so that there's actually some signage there that people then can recognise and why we're calling it that?
I guess the biggest thing is getting rid of the Bunnings colours. Jim, you've got a comment.
Yeah, through you, Mr. Chair. Look, I just I've got no problem. Obviously, Arawata Street car park tends to indicate where it is, but I just asked the question: has there been any consultation with iwi about the name? Because although I note Te Arawai has been adopted for the museum, that specific area may have other cultural associations that we're not aware of or haven't even asked the question. So I would just raise a note of caution before we started launching forth with naming it the Te Arawai car park. Look, I think with Te Arawai being there, it may well be appropriate. But look, I just wonder whether we've had any discussion with iwi about that. Bill would probably be the best person.
Yeah, and he's not here. Yeah. Well, should we make an option just to defer it until we've had that discussion, Jim, at this stage, and bring it back at the council meeting or something?
I think that would be the safest way to go, Graham.
Yep. Okay then. Do I need to move and second it to defer that, or can we just pass over it?
We could just leave it to lie on the table.
Okay, Joe. Okay, fantastic. Thanks, guys. So we'll move to tab 11, the Kihei Alternative Water Supply Pipeline. And we have Karan Seagal with us, I think. Who's doing that?
Yep, so good morning all.
Good morning.
So I take the report as read. Are there any further questions from the members?
It sounds like it's progressing nicely or going to progress nicely, and it's an option we've been looking at for quite a while.
Yes.
Any other questions on this? We have the recommendation of A and B.
I'm happy
Andrew,
to move them,
you
Graham.
happy to move, and Sue, you're happy to second?
Yep.
Andrew, and you're second. Okay, all those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Carried. Thank you for that. Nice and short. Tab 12 is the joint project between the Oklahoma District Council and us. Have we got Peter there today?
Yes, I'm here, Mr. Chair.
Hello, Peter. Welcome to
Hello.
the SD meeting. Nice to have you on board.
Thank you.
If you like just to go through that, and we have questions for that, but it looks a very, very good thing to be happening, I think, with the two districts.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll just do a brief introduction, I guess, and then happy to take questions as this will have been read, obviously.
Thank you.
So the purpose of the report is to get the committee's approval to enter into a collaborative agreement between the two councils, and to give authorization to the chief executive to specifically enter into the attached agreement. So this collaboration came about from discussions earlier in the year between, I think, initially between the two chief executives, and then we were invited by Otorohanga District Council Group Manager to look at possibilities where we could work jointly on delivering infrastructure capital works over the next sort of 1 to 3 year period. So in doing that, we explored a number of different areas, but it became, we were looking for something that was relatively straightforward and easy to do. And the area that came to the fore was this area of procuring and delivering water main renewal work. So both councils had fairly large water main renewal programs over the first 3 years of the LTP, larger than would normally be the case, and both councils could see the benefits of working together to deliver that. So the proposal is fairly simple in concept. It's the two councils working together with joint procurement, and then through that procurement entering into what is called a joint principals contract, where the councils are both hold the position of principal in the contract, and then they allow and engage a contractor to execute that work. The proposal is over a 3 year period that could be extended by mutual agreement beyond that time frame. The period coincides with not just the first 3 years of the LTP, but also the time frame which we currently expect to elapse before we go with the formation of a new water services entity for this part of the country under the Three Waters reforms.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that obviously is still something which is not formal in terms of dates and could still be changed. So that there is the ability to, I guess, flex this agreement, but this joint arrangement by mutual agreement between the two councils.
Yeah.
So perhaps I should just stop there and answer any questions that may have.
Yeah, I think both councils would have the same, be organised in the same leeway in terms of when the Three Waters comes and goes. I see there's 3 South Island councils taking the government to court to get some clarification on what they're doing. But the contracts look good. Has anybody got any questions for Peter at this stage? No? Well, there's a recommendation. Sorry.
I was just going to say, just makes
Thanks,
sense, Graham, to work together. So look, I'd be happy to move it.
Thank you very much. There's A and B there, which are quite succinct. Jim moves and Roger's happy to second. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against,
Aye.
carried. Thank you so much. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
The next one is tab 13, which is the eyesight review. We have Roger and Philip with conflicts of interest there. So, Kieran, how are you working this? Are you there, Kieran?
Sorry, this was discussed yesterday.
Yep.
Roger and Philip, it is a public item. They can remain, but they have
Yes.
declared an interest,
Yeah.
so they cannot participate or in any of the discussion, or they cannot vote in any anything.
Okay. Who have we got on board, Hannah? Have we?
Happy with that.
Yes,
Thank you, Philip.
I'm here.
Same with me.
Thanks, Hannah. Thank you, Roger. Okay, welcome aboard, Hannah. The floor is yours.
Kia ora and good morning. So you have seen the report, but please allow me a moment to highlight the key points.
Thank you.
We undertook a review of our eyesights in Waipa. So those recommendations on the review are that Waipa District Council continue to provide funding to the eyesights in Te Awamutu and Cambridge, and define the promotional roles each play alongside Hamilton and Waikato tourism, and increase the profile and work with Te Arawai journeys, and maintain the current sites, but proceed to look at Te Awamutu's eyesight moving to the Te Arawai building in the future, and also investigate both eyesights working together in one management model. So we really want to continue working with the eyesights in the coming 18 months to implement the recommendations from the review. So our recommendation today is to extend the service level agreement by 18 months with no right of renewal of funding following that. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions, please? I personally think the 18 months is a good move. It does allow people some flexibility to see where they're heading, what they're going to be doing, and coming back to council. And it's a good, I think it's a good lead-in period. Any comment, please? No.
Right, Mr. Chair, I was thinking the same thing, that it gives us time to think and progress us forward to whether they're needed in the future, or where do we go? What's the alternative?
Yeah, thanks, Bruce. Susan, did you have something to add?
No, I was just I wanted to just say that I'm supportive of the recommendation that Hannah set out there.
Thank you. Well, there's A and B there. Sorry. Okay, Mike.
Can I ask a clarifying question? Just noting there is no right of renewal. So that doesn't mean there couldn't be a renewal. It's just not a right to renew. Yep. All right. Yep. Fine. Yep.
All good on that? Thanks for that. Okay, there's a recommendation A and B. If we could have a move into seconder, please, that would be brilliant. Thank you, Mike. And Elwyn, you can second. All those in favour say aye. Against, carried. Aye. Thank you very much. Aye for the eyesight. Okay, tab 14, we have a recommendation to exclude the public. I'm happy to move that.